Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Hi. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
nice to meet you.
I am Hijab Wali, and I am student of Rehan School, Karangi campus. So today's we have the very honorable and grateful guest, whose name is Isabel. So let's go and about herself and about her life journey. So hello, how are you?
Hello, here. My name is Isabel Cecilio, and I'm from Peru. Nice to meet you, and I'm happy to hear with this interview.
And also nice to meet you. So can you introduce yourself from my viewers?
Okay, my name is Isabel. I am from Peru, and I economist, and I study at Somaco University here now, and I study to my master degree in statistics, and I finished this year approximately. In relation with my work, and I work at Ministry of Education in Peru. And I participate in some NGOs in different topics on sustainable development, about the poverty, about education in general. And I participate in such as president of the network in innovation and government in the Georgetown University because then I have a network with a group of people in Latin America in general. Yes, and I into some topics in approximately 215, and I start with my career in the public sector in general.
That's awesome introduction. Thank you for your answer. And my first question from you: what were the key criteria for selecting winners at the Napolitan Awards 2021 and 2022 in the category of public policy?
Okay, thank you for this question because when I speak about my trajectory in general, my experience, I obtained well, now three in 3 years consecutive the Napolitan Awards in 221 and 222. In 221, and I received a Young Leadership Award because and I participate in some spaces to such as Keep Picker or the different projects with the NGOs in general too. And in 222, and I obtained other recognition. This is an important award in the category of the Rising Star because it's the most important recognition for me. And it's I obtained some recognition with winner. And 223 obtained other year the same recognition. This is an important award in Rising Star because it's a important recognition for me. In this case, the criteria, and I think that it was important to contribute to the society, and especially the works with open government in general, because and I speak with different conference, different in participating in different workshops, and different activities to contribute to the society, in special uh, to share some experience, to share some topics about the development in general, sustainable development, or contribution with the special SDGs in the quality, in the poverty, in other SDGs in the United Nations, and my participation with that um, research in some projects, in special in open data, for example, or barometer of data in general in Latin America and in the world, because what is important the contribution to. And I think that this the recognition was important for me because and I consider it is some relation with young people, especially because the topic is in focus in this group of people too. And I'm happy to obtain some recognitions with the Napolitan Awards, and I'm happy to contribute with the society in general.
That's awesome. Thank you for your answer. So my next question from you: can you highlight some of the standout initiatives or projects honored at the Napolitan Awards for Open Government in 2021 and 2022?
Okay, in more specific information about this Napolitan Wars in government, because when I study at 218 approximately, I participate in some projects and I study at open government in general in Chile, in Latin America. In this group, and I obtain some knowledge, and I think that okay, it's a good opportunity to know or, about this topic or to meet other people with for this in relation with the open government in general. Now in Peru, and in this year, and I think that the modernization of the government and it's not more people say these topics in general too, because the information, data transformation is step by step in especially Latin America. However, and I think there is an opportunity to contribute with that. It's not only with the servant public in general, it's necessary to share this experience with the society and the community in general because and I consider with the open government is a good topic, not only with the public sector because it's the democracy for the information in the community in general. And I think that this was I, I consider was a good opportunity to contribute with this about this open government in general, open data in general, with the society, with the young people, in the different space to participate. And I think that this was an opportunity, and now, and I have opportunity to participate to contribute in other spaces. Uh, However, and I think that is a and I'm happy to obtain some knowledge in this job. Now, and I study at the statistics because and I this is a complement studies or complement knowledge with my career in the future. And I think that is what. And I'm very grateful with this opportunity to Napolitan Awards in this job.
That's awesome. Thank you for your answer. And how did the Napolitan Awards contribute to promoting transparency and accountability in the field of public policy?
Okay, when a people or when a group of people or when a person obtains some recognition or some winner about different projects, and I consider this a good opportunity to promote other these activities or replicate some experience in other community with other people, with other group of NGOs. And I think that this is the focus in general is a public sector. This is an important word because special winners participate or contribute with communication politics. This is in general topics. However, in these important words, I some different category, and it not only with the politics in general or the people working in a group of public sector in general too. And I think that different categories identify that some leadership in general, in the special the women leadership, the democracy leadership, it's a part because and I think it's necessary to recognize the participation of the girls, or for example when people working in the group of NGOs, the word is in a special relation with the poverty or the empowerment in the women, in the special, not only the different characteristic, very nice in the world. Too. And I think that important words contribute with a different career, contribute with a different word because it's the recognition of the people in general see this participation with the people winner this bulletin because in general people the different Latin American people identify that okay this is a good person with a to win the Napolitan and I think that is the most recognition in Latin American contribution with the communication of politics on in public policy in general because when I some people that work is in relation with the public policy, on the implementation with the public policy, or for example, in NGOs, is had the opportunity to contribute with the public policy, not directly because it's the take of a decision of the decision makers to implement the public policy. However, some NGOs and persons will have a different initiative to contribute with this group of people with an impact with the public policy. And I think that this connection with the Napolitan identifies some activities, some challenge, uh, or some contribution with the general projects with the community. And I think that recognition in general is important to Napolitan.
Amazing, and thank you for your answer. And what role did international collaboration play in the projects recognized at the Napolitan Awards for International Development?
Okay, in my case, and I identify some opportunities when I win over the Napolitan Awards in general. For example, when I win the when I have winner with the Napolitan Awards in 221, I identified because and I obtained the young leadership award because in the limit of the age where I participate in some projects. When I in this year, and I finished my age for the young people. However, and I think that this is important recognition for me because and I and I think in this moment, and I think okay. And I participated in some years ago in NGOs, and I happy to contribute with the empowerment in general because my first participation to the volunteer in the NGOs was in 2014 approximately when I shared some knowledge with the entrepreneurship in the special entrepreneurship people because and I have I obtained some good friends. I obtained some good opportunity to contribute with the society in general because for this group of people, is the most activity or the most important contribution with the in special and I think that it was important for this group of people. And I remembered in this at the moment when I some years ago I participated in some spaces and contributed with the society because and I happy to realize to this activity. And I think that is the relation with other people in other countries is necessary to grow my career and professional career. When I obtained this Napolitan, I in some people in the other countries, in especially Latin American or the other countries in general, um, write me or speak me about the or say me about the okay. So, I remember of Isabel, and I am happy uh, to to this coronation or to win a Napolitan. However, I would like to participate in some spaces as a writer, and I think it was an opportunity for me because I had the opportunity to open the position to write in some space, and I write there in some space in the, for example, the Voz General in Spanish is in Mexico, for example in the everyone is other spaces to have opportunity to participate in some. But it's unnecessary to recognize this in a person words because opens the honor other opportunities. It's not only with Latin American people, it's in general too. And I consider with a relation, international relation with other people, contribution with the knowledge and open opportunity to participate in other projects. And I think that when I meet some people in the world, not only in open data, because I think that is other opportunity to open in others work. For example, in sustainable development or contribution with the SDGs, with the and I participate in some study documents with the SDGs in the United Nations, in research or a workshop when I remember that year is 222, is that, I remember, when I participate in some group of people, when I contribution with that only workshop, however, and I think significant for me is a good contribution in general to that. In general. And I recognize, and finally, I recognize this relation with that not only other people in Latin America, in general, recognize with participation with around the world.
That's great, and thank you for your answer. So, were there any trends or emerging practices in public policy that were reflected in the Napolitan Awards winners projects?
Okay, In the relation with my project or my experiences in open data, in open government, in the innovation in general too. And I consider with the different strengths because in general in the public sector, some people is no relation with the technology, with the innovation in general. And I think that is necessary to grow step by step because the, the government in the national government is still a different situation, the different reality with the government and rural areas or other community because what a municipality or the other intervention because uh, the first problem and I consider is a connectivity because not only a group of people have internet or have obtained some technology with a relation with the world in special too. If I speak about the national government and I see a different sense, one is the capacity to uh, the servant public in general too. And I think necessary to obtain some human capital with or either the labor with the human resources contribute with the servant in general too because it's necessary to know so what is the reality about the public sector or the servants their servants public because and I think that is an opportunity to obtain some knowledge about the technology innovation because it's necessary to implement some innovation in the area of the work in general too. It depends of the area, it depends of the position is analyst, office specialist, etc. And I consider that is the important to contribution to. And in the other hand, and I think that other problem within like I have some friends is it is the relation between the servant public in between the area because and is a opportunity to share some experience between the friends or the workers because when I have a different problem when I in general in the area necessary to contribute with some experience in other spaces and I think that is the most important contribution um, because when I speak in rural area is more and more a problem because the first difficulty is a connectivity in general to the internet or to the capacity of the take of a decision is not very good because it's I think this other problem with take a decision in general for a public policy or a daily decision for the different activities. And I consider this a long time to trend with that. One is the capacity to obtain some knowledge in the technology on the government recognize the what is the goal of the modernization of government to the other servant public. And the second, and I think that to obtain some difference between the national government in general with the rural areas of other group of people with it's necessary to focus about what happened about that what's the problem or what is necessary to they need to contribute with the talk in the world in general too. And I think that is a good it's necessary to focus about the problem in general to the public sector with the focus necessary to the contribution with the worker.
That's awesome. Thank you for your answer. And what are some of the key takeaways or lessons learned from the projects and initiatives honored at the Napolitan Awards 2021 and 2022?
Okay, when when I participate in some projects in general, and I some people meet about my labor in general with my career, with my projects, and I participate in different projects. However, when I apply to the Naples Awards, and I identify some important, the most impact for my contribution, in special with the different workshops and different participate, share some experience, some knowledge in general. Because when I participate in some workshops, in some conference about the SDGs in general or the economy in general, participating too. However, and I think that is it not only shares this experience, and I share to other abilities in this case, and I write some poems and I write some yes, this is the group of I like literatures, for example, and I contribute with the society it other space with other hands because and I write some points about my experience in general when I travel in some countries in Latin America in general too. And I think that this recognition with that is not only not especially a professional trajectory, but necessary to identify other abilities with a person. And I think that is some people practice some sports or practice some other activities, and I think necessary to grow in the personal and the professional people in general too. In my case, and I think a different lesson to obtain when an I winner this is okay, and I think uh, and I and I think this a growth my career is okay, and then I participate in other space when I, for example, I'm writing some points, etc. etc. However, and I think it's necessary to identify some some skills with different person, and I think that these skills change. Around the years and for example in 6 months or 1 years and I remember this space to participate to speak about the skills and I think that is necessary to share some skills or to obtain some good skills too and then I obtained some lessons about this and this because and I recognize it is okay. And I now and I have different skills. However, when I next year, for example, it's possible to change or it's possible to obtain other skills because uh, one day in a month, 1 year, the person changes in different topics, change in different, especially for it's possible to change the the work or don't know it depends on the opportunity and I think that it's important to adapt to have the adaptability to the other situations and I think that is a good lesson to them too and other lesson with shared with other communities other people and I think that is more resilient because it's necessary to adapt to the different situation because the change it not only situation change around the world, it's necessary to adapt to the personal situation too. Because and I don't know, it's possible to obtain some problems or some in tomorrow or next month or next year. I don't know. It's necessary to adaptability to this topic. And then I consider that some words resilient is a good opportunity for one person. It's a good opportunity to share some this word that resilient because I think that is a good opportunity to share this word around the world in general.
That's awesome. Thank you for your answer. So, lastly, would you like to give the advice with our audience? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. I heard. It's okay.
Would you like to give the advice with our audience? Advice.
Okay. I think that it's important to contribution with the society, independent of the activity, independent of the project, because it's necessary to obtain some knowledge and some skills. It is a relation between the participants in some space. It's not only in the world because I have the world and I have my work. However, in this space, independent of the situation, independent of the project, it's not necessary to contribution in general when I analyze. I hope. However, in other spaces, it's necessary to contribute with it, and I'm happy to. Another analysis is important to consider the resilience because and I work with this word in my life, and I consider this word in my life is since 218 approximately because okay, and I when I finish my career and I decide to start to work in a public sector engineer. However, in between 218 and 223, and I obtain some knowledge and I obtain some experience about that. Okay, it's necessary to work in this private sector in general, or is possible to change other work because and identifies when I some abilities and identify some skills to the government professional career in general. And I think that is a good people when this audience consider some opportunities in general. I obtain opportunities and could increase these opportunities because the opportunities uh, is the search for all other people. And then I think that is important too. And finally, and I'm happy to share here, and nice to meet you too. And I open my space and I open different areas and share other projects in the future. And I'm happy to invest me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I invite you to my school when you come in Pakistan. So please visit our school, Arihan School, Karangi campus.
Okay, I recognize this labor about this group of people in the school, in special your school because and I think that is opportunity to this group. I don't remember the one, the years the young people. However, and I see necessary to obtain some knowledge in with the interview with other people in the other country because it's recognize the culture is open some other abilities too. And I think that is good. And I'm happy to share this group of people here. And I'm happy to recognize because uh, when I don't know in your years and I see that it's not only what happened about me. However, and I no, and I'm happy to recognize this activity too.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.